So my MCAT is going to be done on March 7th, and I have already been planning what I'm going to do right after MCAT. And one of the major things I really want to start doing is working more on neural networks. I feel like if I add neural networks to my sort of repertoire of AI development and my neuroscience research, I should have a really well-rounded direction. Now, the way I came to this conclusion was just evaluating my research journey in general. So I started out in terms of programming research, and this was in a combination in neural networks, as well as just looking how neural networks can implement in emergency services like 911 calling. And I honestly did not understand a thing that was going in that research. I was part of the lab in about 6 months, and I didn't understand much. So I decided to ditch programming research completely and shift more towards biochem research, which was my major at the time. And so in biochem research, I started out with drug development because this was the easiest to break into, slowly shifting over to more in drug development where I started getting into wet lab. I came to the conclusion I didn't really like wet lab and I liked more data analysis and programming because in wet lab, you have to keep redoing experiments, right? Let's say some experiment goes the way you want it. You have to redo it multiple times. Cell culturing, having things maintained, all of that took time. And honestly, I didn't really like the structure of that. So in the summer when I was at Vanderbilt, I did more of the drug research or the biochem research online, and I was more in terms of protein generation, which I really liked. However, I didn't really like the overall subject matter, and that's where I started pivoting over to neuroscience research, which I had started on the side. And now I have came to the conclusion that I really want to deep more into neuroscience. And so right now I've been working mainly with the physiology, not so much the anatomy, but the physiology of things, looking at how the neurons sort of connect, seeing how the vision system really works. I'm going to be doing that more at summer at Harvard. And maybe next year I have an offer from MIT where I'll be working more on the connectomics, which is the anatomy side. The thing that I'm missing here is looking more in towards the computational and stimulation side. And that's where neural networks come into play. Now, I want to look at these neural networks more in terms of research, but I also want to see how I can implement neural networks in my trading as well and use things like Monte Carlo simulations in combination with neural networks and AI to sort of develop my trading a little bit more forward. And this, I understand, is a little bit too quant related for pre-med, but honestly, I see a huge potential in this, and I feel like everything's sort of converging onto itself where everything is connected, and I feel like I can be relatively successful in that. Anyways, that was just the basic idea of what I was thinking. I don't know how plausible this is going to be, but as soon as I'm done with MCAT, I'm going to try experimenting with this and see how it goes. Anyways, today is day number 46, but hopefully you all are doing well. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.